This is going to be the best YouTube video you've ever watched. I'm going to be talking to you guys about how you can change your life massively within 6 to 12 months. Listen very carefully. So I've got 40 points planned out, and I've used every single one of these points to change my own life many, many times. I remember in June 2022 to June 2023, I massively changed my life. I went from living in Coventry in England to 1 year later living in Dubai on the palm with 6 supercars and millions of dollars in my bank. So let's get right into it. Point one, you have to believe in yourself. You're never going to change your life if you don't believe you can make it. So many people want to change their life, but they don't believe it's possible. They wake up in the morning and they don't have much hope. For you to change your life, you need hope and you need a vision. Look at all the people in this world who have had a big break, who have changed their life. So many people before you have changed their life in a very, very short amount of time. They've went from being an academy footballer to all of a sudden being one of the better football players at that club. So many people have gone from having a startup to, before you know it, a few months later or 1 year later, having millions of dollars raised from investors, or people who are posting on social media and then they blew up and now they have 1 million followers. There's many, 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 many people who have changed their life in 6 to 12 months. That's a lot of time. So that's the first point I wanted to talk to you guys about. The second point is you got to stop lying to yourself. You have to start becoming accountable. Too many people want to change their life, yet they lie to themselves. Guys, it's one thing to lie to other people, lie to your family, lie to your friends, lie to your girlfriend, but lying to yourself is a different problem. Because before you know it, you start believing in your own lies. You start actually thinking you're trying your best. You start actually thinking you're working hard, that you've tried everything. You've looked for every solution to the problem, but you actually haven't. So the biggest thing that can hold you back when you try to change your life is lying to yourself. Because then you don't know what to change. You don't know what you need to fix. The problem with lying to yourself is you start believing you're actually better than you are. So you stop listening to mentors, you stop listening to the right people, you start assuming you know everything. Your mind starts closing off. You don't pay attention to other people. So it's extremely important when you're trying to change your life and improve in anything to just always remember that you have to be honest with yourself. Accurately assess where are you currently. Are you good at this or are you not good at this? Don't just tell yourself you're good at something if you're not actually good at it. You got to stop being so scared of offending your own ego. You got to almost like detach a bit from your ego and think, okay, let's just be honest for a minute. Am I trying my best? Am I doing the right things? Am I in the right environment? Do I have the right friends? Am I on track to hitting my goals? If every time you ask yourself a question and you reflect on your life or yourself, you just lie or you exaggerate the truth, you're never going to change. You're never going to improve. So when I changed my life many times, what I did is I got a piece of paper out and I started writing where I'm at, and I started rating myself out of 10 or out of 100 in all these different areas of life. I started saying, okay, I'm this level at sales. I'm this level in the gym. I'm this level in communication. I'm this level on social media. I'm this level with my time management. I'm this level with my energy management. And I'll go down and rate myself out of 10 in every key area of life, or out of 100, right? Sometimes 100, sometimes 10. But the point I'm making is I'd accurately assess myself. Then, after I wrote down my scores for every single one of the major skills, I would look at them and think, okay, which areas am I weakest in right now? Which areas are holding me back the most? And the areas that I had the lowest score, these are the areas I focused on the most. These are the areas I put my most energy and time into trying to improve. But so many of you guys, you're just lying to yourself. And if you lie to yourself, you can never improve. Point three, don't talk negatively to yourself. So you want to be honest with yourself, but the way you are honest with yourself is very important. You don't want to just talk shit to yourself and use bad words and say, I'm a loser, I'm an idiot. Don't say this about yourself, right? Your subconscious mind hears and detects everything. What you want to do is just be very, very honest and say it in a positive way. Say it in an optimistic way. So for example, let's say right now your time management skills are not very good. Don't say you're a loser and that you have awful time management skills. Just say, this is an area that at the moment I'm a bit weak on. I want to improve this area of my life. This is something I want to focus on. This is an area I want to become stronger in. And if I become stronger in this area, it's going to help the rest of my life. By changing the word choice you use, all of a sudden now you feel more positive about yourself. And when you're more positive and optimistic, you're more likely to change your life. If you're always feeling negative about yourself, the energy you give off to other people and even to yourself is just going to be low and you're going to be unhappy. And someone who's unhappy isn't going to be productive. There's a saying in fighting that says, a happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. And this basically just means if a fighter is happy, his personal life is going well, he's training well, he's sleeping well, he's recovering well, he's more likely to perform well because he's just in a good mood. He's not taking things too seriously. He's just going to flow better. He's going to be more loose when he trains, when he fights. Everything is just going to be better. A happy fighter is a dangerous fighter. It's the same thing with business. A happy businessman is a dangerous businessman. But if you're always unhappy and stressed because you're always calling yourself a loser, calling yourself an idiot, you're never going to get anything done. You're just going to spend all your energy beating yourself up instead of actually getting the tasks done. Something you have to keep in mind is every time you talk negatively to yourself, your subconscious mind detects that as you actually are not capable or you're actually not good enough. And then your self image starts to change and you actually start to see yourself as someone who's not capable of solving their problems, as someone who's not capable of sticking to their schedule or their plan. And then if you tell yourself you're not good at time management, you're going to start really believing deep in your core that you're not good at time management and that it's something that's just not possible to get better at. And then you're going to think this is something you're just not born with. When in reality, all the things you're currently not good at, you can improve, you can level up, you just need to change your attitude towards them. Remember, guys, your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's reality or what's your imagination. So what you put in here and what you keep in your mind is extremely important because your brain doesn't know the difference, right? It does not know the difference. It doesn't know if you're actually a loser or if you're just calling yourself a loser. And another thing you should keep in mind is if you spoke to other people the way you speak to yourself, they wouldn't want to be friends with you. If you called your friends a loser every 3 seconds, or you called your mom a loser every 5 seconds, or you called your girlfriend, your parents, they're not going to want to talk to you. So why are you talking to yourself like that? Then what ends up happening is your brain doesn't even want to listen to your own words. They're going to, subconsciously, your brain is going to be thinking, if I ask myself this question, he's just going to call me a loser again. He's just going to call me an idiot. So you're not going to even want to question things. You're not even going to want to ask yourself, which area do I need to improve in? What am I doing right? What am I doing wrong? So next time you analyze your life, just sit there and be a bit more positive and think, okay, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, I'm good at this, but I'm not so good at this. I need to get better. Instead of saying you're shit at something, say, I'm not that good, but I can get better. I know I'll get better. And this is when I'm going to get better by. Point 4, if you want to change your life, you stop caring about failure so much. So many people overestimate the consequences of failure. They think it matters so much. They post a video on social media, it doesn't get views, they think it's the end of the world. Guys, it doesn't matter. If you post something on social media, it doesn't get views, guess what? No one saw it, there's no negative consequences. If it got views, then good. You helped lots of people, maybe you made some money from it. If it doesn't get views, well, then you lost nothing, right? You can learn from it and you can improve next time to make a video that performs better. So don't take things so seriously. If you go up to a girl and she rejects you, it doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter. It's just a numbers game. Everything is a numbers game. Drake, one of the best artists or best rappers of all time, he's made many, 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 many songs that we don't know about, that are unreleased, that aren't very good, that aren't bestsellers. But then he's also got lots of hits. Why? Because he's made so much music. On Twitter, I've done 44,000 tweets. Most of those tweets didn't get many likes. They didn't get much engagement. But the tweets that did get a lot of likes, people loved them. And then I built my private community, New Money from that. And I've met up with hundreds of people all over the world in my private community, New Money. Right? So everything is just a numbers game. Don't take things so seriously. You're going to fail. The most intelligent and successful people in the world know you are going to fail. There's no way around it. And by trying to avoid failure, you're really just making yourself fail more. Because by being overly timid and cautious and thinking, shall I do this? Shall I do that? What ends up happening is you do nothing. You do very little. And all your competitors who are just taking action, doing more, thinking less, they're going to beat you. So change your mindset towards failure. Every time in my life I've changed, it's been when I've been a bit more open-minded and I've told myself, you know what? Let me try doing this. Let me try doing that. And by trying more, I increase the chances of something working. But if I want to increase the chances of something working, I also have to increase the chances of things not working. But when things don't work, that's the opportunity for you to sit there and identify what works, what doesn't work. At least then you get some data, you get some feedback. You can be like, okay, why did this not work? This didn't work because I spent too long on this instead of this. And then you could just analyze things properly. Failure is a good thing. Every billionaire, every millionaire says the same thing. You need to fail to become successful. So just change your mindset towards failure. There's nothing wrong with failing. And I think the reason why so many people fail, guys, is because when you're in school, your teachers and parents and friends tell you getting a question wrong in an exam is wrong and it's bad and it's not good. And then your brain starts thinking that failure is this evil thing and it's this really scary thing that we have to avoid when it's not true. In real life, the more you can fail, the better. In school, we all get judged on an exam. which doesn't even mean anything in the grand scheme of things. But we all get judged on how many questions we answer right, how many questions we answer wrong. But life is not like that. You can have 73 failures. As long as attempt number 74 you win big, it's going to compensate for all your failures. Whereas in school, you get 73 questions wrong and one question right, or you failed the exam, you failed the test. Okay, so it's super, super important to keep this in mind. Guys, let me tell you the difference between a successful person and a non-successful person when they fail. A successful person, when he fails, asks himself a few questions. He says, why did I fail? Who could I have spoken to that would have given me an edge? What do I need to do differently? What do I need to avoid next time? Whereas someone who's not successful doesn't really ask themselves these questions. After he fails, he thinks, why did I even try this? I'm a loser. I'm an idiot. I'm never going to make it. Other people are more talented than me. They're better than me. This is not how you should be thinking, guys. If every time you take an L in something, you just sit there and think, you know what, this is not a loss. This is just a lesson. And I remember one of my favorite quotes is from Conor McGregor after his loss to Nate Diaz. And he was basically just talking about how there is no such thing as losing. We either win or we learn. And I love that quote. I've kept it with me ever since. I remember being like 16 or 17 when I was watching that fight when he lost against Nate Diaz. I think I was 16 the first fight. And I remember thinking to myself, that's such a powerful mindset. If every time you do something in life, you don't think you lost, you just think, I've now got a bit smarter. I've now learned something. And next time, I'm going to right my wrongs. And that's exactly what happened in the McGregor fight. The first fight in 2016, March time, I think it was, he lost the fight, right? He gassed out. He didn't use his energy so well. 5 months later, in August 2016, they had a rematch and McGregor won, right? So he did what he said he was going to do. He took all the lessons and wrote his wrongs. This is what you need to do, guys. You need to go to the drawing board and ask yourself, what is causing me to lose right now? What is causing me to fail? But you can only do this once you change your mindset towards failure and tell yourself that it's actually a good thing, because then you get more feedback. Step 5, you are the main character, gamify yourself. So a lot of people kind of carry themselves as NPCs, okay? The way you want to go through life is to really see yourself as the main character. And once you start seeing yourself as like a character in a video game, you start to change your mindset towards things. You start to have more fun with things. You start taking things less seriously. You start asking yourself different questions. So what I found to be extremely powerful is just treating myself like a character in a video game and asking myself, what would be the most fun thing to do? Which move can I make that would make my life the most exciting, the most enjoyable? And by asking yourself these questions, you end up thinking very, very differently than when you start thinking with fear and you start thinking pessimistically. You start thinking, oh, what can go wrong and all these kind of things. If you start really thinking, what would be fun? How can I have a more fun life? You just have a completely different reality, guys. So stop taking life so seriously. We're going to be dead one day. Just stop taking it so seriously. Once you start chilling out a little bit, you have more fun with things, you'll realize it's really easy to make progress. You'll stop complicating things, right? Too many people overcomplicate things. A smart man simplifies things, right? There's a very famous quote that says, life is simple, but we insist on making it complicated. So keep things simple. You don't need to try and make it more difficult than it needs to be. Another thing to mention is if you are the main character, you need to put yourself first. If you want to change your life, you're going to have to put yourself first. Too many people put others first, right? They put their mom above them, their dad above them, their sister above them, all their friends above them, their girlfriend above them, their cousin above them. You put all these people above you, then where do you come in? You have to make yourself the number one priority so you can actually help the other people in your life. You can't help other people if you haven't helped yourself first, right? This is an empty cup right now, right? I can't give anyone any money, any love, any support if I don't have anything in my cup. First, I need to make sure I have something in my own cup, then I can pour the cup out. So make sure you fill your own cup first, then you can worry about other people. So if you are the main character, put yourself first. The best way to reinvent and change your life really quickly is to start putting more of your energy into yourself, because most people put 50% of their energy at least into other people, into worrying about the news, random gossip, random drama between this friend and that cousin and that auntie and that uncle. It's a waste of time. Put all your energy into yourself. Ask yourself, what do I need to be doing better? Don't worry about what other people are doing. That's how you change your life fast. Point 6, change your identity. So, if you want to be successful, you have to start believing you're a successful person. I remember when I was younger, I used to watch all these like manifestation videos and law of attraction videos and how to be a millionaire videos and millionaire mindset and billionaire lifestyle and all these things. And all those videos would just talk about how if you want to be a millionaire, you got to believe you can be a millionaire. If you want to be rich, you got to believe you can be rich. And I remember telling my friends in school this, and everyone just thought I was just crazy, right? Everyone just thought I was deluded. Everybody thought I was, just wrong. They're like, Hassan, like, be realistic. This is not how you're going to become a millionaire. But I always just believe, like, if you believe you can do something, you're going to do it. Like, I just believe over a long enough period of time, if you believe you can become a millionaire, naturally, your reticular activating system. So there's something in your brain, the RAS, called the reticular activating system. And it basically filters out all the different information you come across in this world. And basically, it shows you what it thinks you think is important, right? So if you make a decision that you want to buy a Mercedes, then all of a sudden on the road while you're driving, you'll start seeing loads of Mercedes everywhere because your brain, your RAS, your reticular activating system, knows to show you Mercedes. Does that make sense? Just like how, for example, if you're scrolling on Instagram or you're scrolling on YouTube, sometimes the ads you see are going to be things that they know you're interested in. That's how it works with all these internet cookies and everything else. Okay. So your brain will show you what you're interested in. So if you have decided you want to be a millionaire, if you've decided you want to be successful, if you've decided you want to be rich, now all of a sudden you'll start finding videos like this on YouTube. You'll start finding all the opportunities around you. Naturally, you'll start talking to the right people. You'll start cutting off the wrong people, and you'll make the decisions that get you closer to that goal. And I knew this. I knew that if I really believed I could be rich and I really believed that I could get to the next level, then naturally what will happen is I'll get further ahead and I will become a millionaire. That's what I genuinely believe. So you have to change your identity. Start seeing yourself as a winner. Start seeing yourself as a problem solver. Start seeing yourself as someone positive. Start seeing yourself as someone resourceful, optimistic, courageous, brave, intelligent. I promise you, if you see yourself as someone intelligent, you will become more intelligent. Because what will end up happening is you will start looking for evidence that you're intelligent. And what will happen is you'll start doing more and more habits that will make you smarter. You'll join a network of like minded people. You'll cut off all the wrong people. You won't drink so much. You won't smoke weed. You'll read more books. You'll read more articles about your niche, about your industry. You'll watch more videos like this, like I was saying. So what happens is when you want to start changing your identity, once you've made a decision that you want to be this kind of person, you will start doing things that give you belief and show evidence to your brain and subconscious mind that you are that kind of person. Does that make sense? So what you need to do is just make a decision of who you want to be, right? Really just decide, guys, you want to be this type of person. And then after that, naturally, you'll start adopting the habits of that person, and they go together. As you start adopting the habits of this person, naturally you will really believe you're that person. As you really start believing you're this person, you'll naturally start doing more and more of these habits. If you see yourself as a smart person and a hard worker, you're going to start working harder on the right things. They go together. Okay, so change your identity if you want to change your life. Point 7, install new mental models. Mental models are really powerful. So I have a few mental models that I like. I actually have a few stuck on my wall here in my office. One of them is like, do more, think less. Whenever I feel overwhelmed or I feel a bit tired or I feel a bit low on energy, I'll just tell myself, do more, think less, right? Or I'll tell myself, good move over perfect move. So you know the little sign like this, like greater than? I'll just tell myself, good move is better than a perfect move. And what I mean by this is if I'm taking too long to make a decision, I'll just remind myself, good move is better than a perfect move. If you just make a good move really quickly, it's better than spending 3 months trying to make the perfect decision, being slow to execute on ideas, not getting anything done. It's better to just keep things moving, right? So I have all these different mental models I can pull out of my head that will help me in any situation. So if you want to change your life, start creating some mental models for yourself. You guys can use some of mine. But yeah, some of my favorite ones are dominate the hour, force the pace, one thing at a time. So when I just tell myself one thing at a time, this helps me like deal with feeling overwhelmed sometimes. Sometimes if I have like 10 different things to do, it's easy for me to feel overwhelmed. But if I tell myself one thing at a time, then all of a sudden, my brain will just lock in on one task. I'll say to myself, okay, come on, Hassan, I have to do one thing. Let's just do this one thing. Once I've done this one thing, then I can focus on the next thing. It's super important. Next point, focus on momentum instead of perfection. This is huge. Too many people want to change everything in their life on day one. So they'll watch a video like this and say, tomorrow I'm going to change my life. And they'll write down a list of 50 things they want to change. And then tomorrow will come around, they'll change one thing. And then they'll feel really shit about themselves. They'll say, okay, fuck it, tomorrow I'm going to change like 10 things. And they'll write down 10 things, they only get like 1 or 2 things done. And they'll start feeling really bad about themselves. They'll start having lower energy. They'll start feeling like a liar because they keep telling themselves they're going to do something, but they don't do it. It's much better, guys, to only set yourself like 1 or 2 things you're going to do for the next day, like habits you're going to start implementing, get them done, and then the next day, do another 1 thing or maybe 2. And then if you continuously do this every single day, within month 1, 2, 3, 4, your whole life is going to start looking different. Instead of trying to change 10 things on day 1, you do 2 things. Day 2, you do 1 thing. And day 3, you've already given up and you're like, I don't want to change my life anymore. And you go back to smoking weed. Focus on steady and small wins all the time. This is how you change your life. And every time I've tried to be a smartass and I've tried to do too much in one go, it's never ever worked for me. I've always done something similar to what I've just said. I'll make 5 changes on day 1. Day 2, I've made 3 changes. Day 3, I've lost my confidence and I'm not changing anything. I've lost momentum. You gotta keep the momentum. It's like playing a video game. You're playing Call of Duty, you kill one guy, kill one other guy. Now you have a kill streak, right? You get a kill streak, you have the UAV, then it becomes easier and easier. Okay? It's the exact same with business and life. You want to keep winning, keep winning, keep winning, keep winning. And then you start feeling like a winner. You talk to a girl, she likes your energy, she gives you a number. Then you go on a date with her, second date, boom, boom, boom. You talk to a client, you close the client. You talk to your parents, they're in a better mood when they talk to you because your energy is better, because you're winning. Once you have that winner's energy, you start doing everything with the winner's energy and everything just starts coming to you. Clients come to you, girls come to you, money comes to you, success comes to you, you're happier. Everything becomes better once you have momentum. You have to get the momentum rolling. Another reason why focusing on momentum is so much more powerful than perfection is because when you focus on perfection, what you try and do is you try and like lay out a perfect step-by-step plan. I'm going to do this, then this, then this, then this. And the problem is especially when you're not experienced at something or you've never done that thing before, is you don't know what step 3, 4, 5 is. You maybe only know step 1 and then maybe step 2. You don't know the other steps. You don't know how to get to your final destination. All of you guys watching this video who are not millionaires don't know how to become a millionaire right now. You've not done it before. So instead of worrying about step 7 and step 8, just take step 1 and then maybe just instantly take step 2 after if you know what you're doing. But most of the time, people don't even know step 2. They just know step 1. So focus on step 1. Once you've completed step 1, now you've created some momentum. Now you can then do step 2 afterwards, because after you've done step 1, step 2 will reveal itself to you. And the analogy I like to use with people is, imagine you're driving a car late at night and your headlights only show you, let's say, a couple hundred meters in front of you. Okay, you're driving late at night, there's no headlights on the road. You have to rely on your own lights in your own car, the headlights, not the lamps, if that makes sense. So you're driving, okay? You cannot see 200 meters down the road. But let's say you're on a 10-mile journey. Are you going to sit there worried, stressed that you can't see 10 miles down the future? No, your eyes can't even see 10 miles down the fucking future, right? The road is bendy, you can't even see. Your headlights won't show you that far anyway. All you can do is drive, drive, drive. And as you keep driving, you can see more and more of the road in front of you. That's how it works. As you start driving, as you start walking the path will reveal itself to you. So when you're trying to become successful or change your life, do not try and have everything mapped out. Focus on just doing something, which then will help you get to a bit of a better position. And then once you're in that bit of a better position, then you can analyze your next move. This is how you should be doing things. Do more, get to this new position, then evaluate where you are and think, okay, what's the next move? Quickly make a decision, then reevaluate again once you've got to a new position. Just keep doing. Spend 95% of your time and doing, 5% on talking, thinking, analyzing. More time on action, less time on thinking and planning. Planning is overrated. Doing is massively underrated. Step 9. If you're trying to change your life, you need to learn how to analyze correctly. I was actually on a one-on-one call today with someone from my private community, New Money. And I was on a call with them and basically just explaining to them, when you analyze problems in your life, try to analyze the root problem. So for example, let's say you're not getting clients in your business. Is that because you're just a dumbass in business? Or is that because your sleep routine is really inconsistent? And then what that is doing is giving you low energy. So then you're not doing as much outreach and you're not doing as many videos on social media, which is meaning you're not getting as much traffic as you need and you're not doing as much outreach. So you're not getting as many sales or phone calls booked. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So instead of just thinking, I'm a loser at business, think, okay, why am I not getting sales for my business? I'm not getting sales because I'm not doing enough content. I'm not doing enough outreach. I'm not doing enough content and outreach because my routine is really Unorganized. It's all over the place. Okay, why is my routine unorganized and all over the place? Well, I wake up and sleep at different times every day. So the root problem is your sleep schedule, not that you're a loser in business who doesn't know how to make videos or do outreach. So always analyze the root problem. If you keep talking to girls and you keep getting rejected, what's the root problem? Is the root problem that you said your opening line wrong? Or is the root problem that you've got ketchup all over your t-shirt, your breath stinks, you look like a loser, your fashion sense is shit, you speak with no confidence, you're really fat and out of shape, and all these different problems? What's the root problem? The root problem is what I just said, not that you said your opening line slightly wrong. Do you guys get what I mean? Always analyze deeper. When you have a problem, ask yourself, what is the real problem? Because once you know what the real problem is, then you can actually treat the real problem. So if you want to change your life, keep going deeper with your questioning. Ask yourself, why are things not going my way? And then keep asking more and more questions until you can't ask any more questions. So even with the sleep point, okay, I have an unorganized sleep schedule. Okay, why do I have an unorganized sleep schedule? Okay, because I'm sleeping late. I don't have a problem with waking up on time if I get 8 hours sleep, but I'm having a problem going to bed on time. Why do I have a problem going to bed on time? Okay, maybe I'm drinking too much caffeine, too much coffee late at night. Okay, so maybe that's the solution. I've got to stop drinking coffee late at night. Or maybe what I'm doing is I'm going on my phone at night and I'm just scrolling TikTok, I'm scrolling short form. Okay, so if that's the case and you're just scrolling TikTok, scrolling IG Reels, okay, here's a solution. Don't go on your phone in your bed. Have a rule where you don't go on your phone when you're in your bed. Your bed is for sleeping. And once you have these systems set in place, you'll realize it's actually really easy, guys, to solve the problem because you solve the root problem. Now, all of a sudden, you're sleeping on time, you're waking up on time, you have loads of energy, you're doing all your work you need to do, your business starts booming, tripling, quadrupling. Why? Because you fixed the root problem. Next point. One of my favorite points of the entire fucking video. Clarity is way more important than motivation, anything. Clarity is king. I truly believe, and you can even tell from the way I'm speaking now, I suddenly got even more energy. I love this point so much. I'm going to fucking underline it for myself. I love this point. Clarity is king. Clarity is everything. You can be wrong about everything. If you have clarity and you have conviction, you're going to win. You can make the wrong decision in business every day, but as long as you're clear on what you're doing, you'll win. You could have the shittest gym routine, the shittest business plan, the shittest offer, the shittest content. If it's really clear what you're doing in every area of your life, you'll still win. If you have a very clear plan laid out for the gym, even if it's the wrong plan, even if it's not optimal, you'll still get in good shape. You can have a wrong offer for your business. You could be targeting the wrong kind of clients. Your messaging can be slightly wrong. But as long as it's clear and the people watching the video know that it's for them, your video is still going to do well. Your offer is still going to do well. You're still going to make money. Clarity is king. When you know what time you want to wake up, what time you want to sleep, when you're going to the gym, when you're eating food, how often you're going to be doing outreach, how many messages of outreach you want to do a day roughly, what time you're going to be having fun versus what time you're going to be working or doing deep work, what time you're going to be filming this YouTube video. As long as everything in your life or your day is structured and clear, you're going to win. You just need clarity. So many people can't change their life because they have no clarity. They say, okay, I'm going to do this business. And then by tomorrow, they've changed this business model. They say they're going to wake up at 9 a.m. and then by tomorrow, it's 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. They keep changing. Just make a decision, be clear on what you're planning on doing, and just stick to it. That's like 99% of the game. One of the best ways you can achieve more clarity is by just writing down the things that give you the highest ROI and then doing more of those or filling up more of your day with those tasks. So for example, I'm going to flip over to this blank piece of paper. Let's say you've identified that some of the biggest things in your life that get you results are outreach, going to the gym, and making content. Okay? Then all you got to do to be really clear and have a lot of clarity in your life is just say, okay, at this time every day, I'm going to go to the gym 6 days a week or 5 times a week or 4 times a week at 10 a.m. I'm going to go gym. And you just write it down like, I'm going to go gym 4 times a week at 10 a.m. Now it's very clear. Let's say your plan is to wake up at 9 a.m. From 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., you wake up, maybe you have a shower, you plan your day, or maybe you eat breakfast, you get changed, blah, 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 right? You go gym 10 a.m. 4 times a week. Content, you're going to film on these 2 days at this time to this time, okay? Outreach, you're going to do 2 hours of outreach every day from this time to this time, and you just write it out. Done. And then you spend more of your time doing these 3 things. And then you analyze the 3 things in your life which give you the least ROI. You write them down like, okay, talking to this person, doing this, you write them down, and then limit the amount of time you spend on those things, and double the amount of time you spend on content, maybe double the amount of time you spend on outreach, spend a bit more time in the gym. That's all you have to do to achieve clarity. Like, ask yourself, which are the things in my life that give me the highest ROI, and just do more of them. Because remember, 80% of your results come from 20% of the actions you take. So maybe these three things give you like 90% of your results, 80%. And you're worried about doing this thing and this thing and this thing. It's just stupid, guys. Focus on what actually matters. Something else that will give you clarity in business is knowing your numbers. So, for example, if you want to make 50K a month, know your numbers. What's 50 divided by 30 days in a month? It's about 1.7K a day. So, how are you going to make 1.7K a day? Are you going to sell, a $1 product 1,700 times? Probably not. Okay, so how can you make 50K a month? Are you going to sell a 1.7K product one time a day to 50 people? Sorry, 30 people that month? Are you going to sell a 1K product 50 times a month? Are you going to sell a 10K product 5 times a month? Are you going to have a 5K service and sell it 10 times? Know your numbers and make sure your numbers realistically make sense. Don't have vague goals. Just be very clear. So say, if I want 10K a month, right? 10K a month. And then write down, how am I going to make 10K a month? And just get clear on the numbers. Maybe you just need to have a 2K service or product and sell it 5 times. Or maybe you're going to have a fucking 1K product or a $500 product. But as long as you know the numbers are possible, then you're going to have clarity. And then just work backwards, reverse engineer that goal. Think, how much outreach do I need to do? How much content do I need to post? How many hours do I need to work? Ask yourself these questions. How many hours do I want to work? How many hours do I not want to work? How many hours do I want to spend with my family, with my friends? And put all of these things into your calendar. Say, I need to work 8 hours a day. The other 8 hours a day I want to spend on gym, eating, friends, family. Like, structure your day properly. And then you can work backwards and say, okay, is it possible I make 10K a month working these 8 hours a day? Okay, yes, because all I need to do is get these 5 clients. Okay, if I get these 5 clients, 2K times 5 people to make 10K a month. Okay, is it possible I get 5 clients working 30 days a month, 8 hours a day? Of course it is. So you just work backwards, get super clear on what you want. One of the best ways to achieve more clarity also is to write down what's confusing you right now. Sam Altman, who's the owner of ChatGPT, says the best way to think better is to write better and to write more with your hand, not even by typing, by just writing on a piece of paper. So whatever's causing you confusion right now, just write it on a piece of paper. Say, right now, I'm confused about my gym routine. Right now, I'm confused by how many hours I should be working. Right now, I'm confused on my sleep schedule. I'm confused on this. I'm confused on that. And write down everything that's causing you confusion. And then just one by one, try and solve each problem as simply as possible. Remember, simplicity scales, complexity fails. Just always remember that. Write that down. Simplicity scales, complexity fails. And when you think about that, it just changes everything. Every sentence you write that's confusing, just ask yourself, how can I solve this as simply as possible? Okay, my gym routine. Okay, how can I make this as simple as possible? Okay, I'll go gym every other day at 10 a.m. or I'll go every day at 9 a.m. or whatever it is. But just decide. It's like a 3-second decision. And then once you've made that commitment, put it in your calendar, it's done. You don't have to think about it again for the next year. Just make a decision that I'm going to stick to this for the next 12 months and then reevaluate where you are later. Right? You don't need to be thinking about it all the time. So just write down everything that's confusing you and just solve it step by step. It's so simple, guys. People get confused because they don't actually ask themselves, what is confusing me right now? What am I even confused about? Write it down, address the problem. So, point 11, fix your sleep and have good structure. So we already talked about the importance of having a good sleep routine, but I want to make this a separate point. Choose a time and stick to it. We only need to talk about this for 30 or 40 seconds. Choose a time, stick to it. Wake up time and sleep time. For me, what's more important is the sleep time. Because if you sleep on time every night, you're going to wake up on time. Okay? Whereas if you just tell yourself you're going to wake up at a certain time every day, it doesn't necessarily happen if you only get 4 hours of sleep. And even if you do wake up on time, if you're only sleeping 4 or 5 hours, it's not very good. So focus on the sleep time. That's the most important time. The wake up time will naturally happen if you get your sleep time on point. So choose the time you're going to go to bed. If you're going to go to bed at a certain time, then it's very important you work backwards from that. Like I said, always analyze the root problem. The reason why you're not sleeping on time is because of what's happening before that time. So if you decide you want to sleep at midnight, 12 a.m., right? Ask yourself, why am I always sleeping at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning? What am I doing just before 12 o'clock? What am I doing from 11:30 p.m. to midnight? That's the half an hour or 40 minutes I need to look after and change, because that's what's causing me to sleep really late. So the next point, number 12, is have a morning and evening routine. So we'll start off with the evening routine. Let's say you want to sleep at midnight and you've decided this is the time you want to sleep and I'm going to stick to this. Give yourself about 30 minutes before bed to kind of just chill before bed and kind of end the day. So, what I would advise you to do is don't take your phone to your bedroom. Buy an alarm clock from Amazon. There's many alarm clocks you can buy for a few dollars, and leave your phone. Put your phone in a different room. Put it on the table, put it outside, put it in the kitchen, put it somewhere else. Just don't even take it in your room at 11:30. Once you go into your room at 11:30, close the door behind you, no phone. That way, you're not just going to sit there and scroll content. You're not going to message random people. You're not going to scroll TikTok. You're not going to message your friend making random plans. No one's going to call you. Like, your phone's away. No one can contact you. Like I said, set your alarm clock for whatever time you're trying to wake up, like 8 hours later. And you have many things you could do. You can either read a book for half an hour. You can chill and stare at the ceiling for half an hour. You can write on your whiteboard your plans for tomorrow. You can analyze how your day went. I prefer doing those things. Plan my day and write down on a whiteboard what my plans are for the next day. Okay? I don't like reading that much. And I don't like just staring at the ceiling. I think it's quite pointless. So for me, what I like to do is I like planning my day. What do I want to achieve for tomorrow? And I like that half an hour period a lot because it's very relaxing. You feel very at peace, right? You can get yourself a nice bedside table lamp, create some nice ambience for your room. And it's just a really nice half an hour just before bed. It chills you out. And like I said, you make a plan for tomorrow. That way, you wake up tomorrow and then you have your morning routine. So that's what I'd advise you guys. Just have a little evening routine, half an hour. You can do what you want. If you want to put a fucking candle on, you can put a candle on. But what I would say is just have it consistent. If it's consistent, you're going to stick to it. So just make a decision. Next thing, morning routine. So the morning routine, by the way, it doesn't have to be a certain routine. Every one of us can have a different routine. What matters is the consistency and the structure of it. So what I mean by that is how many times in a row are you going to stick to this routine? If you're going to stick to this every day for the next 6 months, that's a very good routine. So what I do is I go to the bathroom, I brush my teeth, I wash my face, I go to the toilet, and then I drink a bottle of 750 milliliters of water and some electrolytes, because when you're sleeping, you lose electrolytes, you lose sodium and potassium, a couple other things. So I like to have some electrolytes. I feel hydrated in the morning. Then I go downstairs, I check my phone, and I start the day. Right. And then I kind of go to the gym a bit later on. I've experimented with different morning routines. Before, I would just go to the gym straight away. Now I've experimented with eating before I go to the gym. It changes a little bit. But when I've made a change, I like to stick to it for a little bit of time just so I can see what works for me. But the point is, find what works for you and stick to it. But the reason why these routines are so powerful is because if you can control the half an hour before bed, then you guarantee that you're going to sleep on time. If you sleep on time, you guarantee that you're going to wake up on time. If you wake up on time, you guarantee you're going to have energy for the whole day. If you wake up on time and you have a good morning routine, then you guarantee that you're going to have a good start to the day. If you have a good start to the day, there's a very good chance the rest of the day is going to be good, right? You brush your teeth, maybe you had a shower, you got some food in, maybe you start heading to the gym. Your day's just started. Instead of you sit in your bed, you go on TikTok for an hour in the morning, then you spend another 40 minutes eating food, and before you know it, 2 hours have gone by and all you've done is eating food. It's important to have a structure that you can follow, because some days you're going to feel a different way than other days. Some days you feel naturally very good, very smart, very disciplined, very on point. Some days you're going to feel slow and tired and weak. It's important on these days that you don't completely sabotage yourself and just do random shit. It's important on these days to just follow the routine. That's what the routines are there for, to eliminate all the thinking, because you only have so much discipline and willpower in a day. So on those days when you're feeling shit, if you don't have to worry about making all these tough decisions, everything's already decided for you. You go to the bathroom, go toilet, go brush your teeth, go take a fucking shit. It doesn't matter. The point is, because you got that structure, you don't have to think. You can just be in autopilot mode. The more you can stay in autopilot mode, the more successful you'll be, because then your willpower will be saved for the most important tasks. Now, many of you are probably thinking, Hassan, how do I actually plan my day? You said the night before you plan your day. How do I plan my day? So, you're very lucky. Point 13 is plan each day out the night before. So, every one of us is going to plan our day differently, depending on what our goals are, depending on what our level is, right? It depends. Maybe Some of you watching this have 10 employees. Some of you have no employees and you're completely rocking solo. So you need to know what stage of life you're at and what you're trying to accomplish. Okay. That's going to determine how you're going to plan your day. But there are some things you just know you're going to do. You know you're going to go to the gym. You know you're going to eat food a couple times a day. You know you need a bit of time for rest. Maybe you need a bit of time to spend time with friends or family, or time for yourself where you just analyze your day. So you got that half an hour time slot just before you go to bed in the evening where you're going to plan your next day and you're going to analyze your day. So start planning your day and just working backwards. So you start filling up your calendar or start filling up the whiteboard with tasks you know you're going to do. So for example, let's say you write down, I'm going to go to the gym tomorrow at this time, because you always go to the gym at this time. And you know you're trying to sleep at midnight, let's say. So write 12 o'clock here. And you know from 11:30 to 12 o'clock, that's like your evening routine time. And you know from, let's say you sleep at 12, that means you wake up at 8 a.m. So you know from 8 a.m. to 8:30, for example, you have your little morning routine where you have a shower, go bathroom, blah, blah, blah. Already you've got that half an hour blocked off, and then maybe like a 2 hour blocked off for the gym, where you drive to the gym, you come back from the gym, spend time in the gym, getting changed from the gym. Maybe that whole process is 2 hours. So already you've got 3 hours blocked off. Now you have 13 hours left. This is what I would do. I would start with the things I know I'm definitely going to do, and then I'll see how much time I have left. Then I'll choose my most important task. Let's say I really want to film this YouTube video. I'll write down this time to this time, I need to film this YouTube video. It's going to be a 2 hour video. I want to spend like 10, 20 minutes before planning the video. Okay, this whole thing, let's just say it takes 2.5 hours, 2 hours 45, whatever. And I'll plan that. And then just start doing that. Start filling your day up with the most important things you want to get done. And then look at how much time you have left. And then if you have more spare time throughout the day, then you can fill it up with more stuff. But just put the most important things. What I found is you don't want to plan every minute of the day, because what's inevitably going to happen is some of the tasks you plan out are going to take longer than you think. So you might say gym is going to take me 1 hour and 47 minutes. Just put 2 hours, right? The other 13 minutes, you don't have to be super strict on them. If you found that you've come home 13 minutes earlier, then you can do something else. You can prepare food 13 minutes earlier. You can call your mom, you can call your brother, talk to your friends, maybe plan tomorrow out earlier in the day, whatever. You can find something to do. But don't try and be too precise, because things inevitably go off plan. You tell yourself you're going to do a 10-minute meeting with someone, a 10-minute call. The call turns into 17 minutes. Food, you say it's going to take you 12 minutes to eat your food, 10 minutes to eat your food. Before you know it, it's 15. Well, you get my point, right? Guys, I forgot to also mention, one of the reasons why it's so powerful to try and stick to a consistent routine when it comes to things like the gym, your morning routine, your evening routine, is because if you know that you go to the gym like 5 times a week, 4 times a week, 6 times a week, whatever, and you know it always takes you 2 hours, then if you know it's gym day, you're just going to write down gym 2 hours. You're not going to have to think about it. You're not going to think, is it 1 hour? Is it 1 hour 46? It's just a thing. You know gym takes 2 hours. You know food takes 20 minutes. You know this and this and this task take this long. Like, the more structured you are in your day, the more you know things take. So for example, when you do your evening routine, for example, we've put here that it takes half an hour. You might find that it takes you 40 minutes. You might find that you like those extra 10 minutes to yourself where you have no phone, you have peace. You might find that those extra 10 minutes really make a difference to tomorrow, how you feel in the morning when you wake up. You feel like you have a bigger plan for the day. So it's really important to be structured, because then you remove the unpredictability. Everything's stable, everything's predictable, everything's structured. You don't use any willpower, and you don't have decision fatigue. Decision fatigue is basically this principle, meaning that every time you make a decision, you become more fatigued. So you want to reduce decision fatigue by reducing the amount of decisions you make. And you reduce the amount of decisions you make by having more things just done automatically. Things that you just follow, or things that you know you just have to do. So for example, you have your whole day planned out. All right, gym, you go to the same gym, you drive in the same car, or you call an Uber, for example. It's the same gym. You're going to go for the same time. You have the same water bottle. Everything's just the same. The more things that are different about your routine, the more energy is going to go towards these unimportant things compared to actually doing the work you need to do, talking to the clients you need to talk to, growing on social media, managing every other thing in your life, talking to your family, talking to your friends, having a good dating life. You got to make sure the personal things in your life are just smooth. Otherwise, your business life is going to be chaotic. Guys, before we move on to point 14, I just want to say, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and make sure you follow my IG for more personal updates, more behind the scenes stuff. We have way more videos like this coming soon. And make sure you're writing notes on this. It's one thing to hear me say this and say, yeah, Hassan, this makes sense. Hassan, I agree with everything you're saying. But it's another thing to actually write notes on it, implement it, and get the benefits in real life. Don't just listen to these points and think, yeah, this makes sense, and get some dopamine out of this. Make sure you actually implement these things, because just these 13 points so far, if you implement these 13 points, your whole life will change. I know I implement these things in my day-to-day life. They've changed my life. These 13 points you mentioned so far are huge. Keep listening, because the next points are very good also. Point 14, batch your tasks. So this is in relation to planning your day the night before. When you plan your day, you want to put things together. And what I mean by that is, don't do one call and then do 10 messages, then one call, then 10 messages, then do some planning, and then do this, and then do more planning, and then no. Do all your calls batch together. Do all your messages batch together. Do all your cleaning the house stuff, let's say, batch together, right? Have things batch together, right? If you're planning a YouTube video idea, do it all in one go. Don't say, I'm going to plan my video for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to go eat, and then plan my video again for 10 minutes. Don't do that. Do everything in one go. So when you're planning your day, have deep work sessions. Have big blocks of time where you're just doing one thing. For example, if you're going to do outreach, say this is an outreach session. For an hour and a half, I'm going to do outreach. Or I'm going to be talking to my clients. Or I'm going to be hopping on phone calls, blah, blah, blah. Keep things together, because the way the human brain works is it likes to batch things together, and it likes achieving flow state. And when you're in flow state, you're way more productive, way more focused, way more locked in, you just get more shit done. Okay? If you're always jumping tasks, you never have a chance to achieve flow state, and you never have a chance to actually get anything done. So if you want to get shit done, batch your tasks together. I can't say it any other simpler way. You guys should get what I'm saying. Point 15, set deadlines. There's something called Parkinson's law, which basically means work expands to take as much time as you give it. So if you give yourself an hour to do something, it'll take an hour. If you give yourself 3 hours to do something, it'll take 3 hours. If you give yourself 3 weeks, you get the point. So if you want to get things done productively, give yourself a deadline, a cutoff point. Don't just tell yourself you have 7 weeks to complete something. Tell yourself you have 1 week, 1 day. Watch how much quicker you start working. I know so many people, when they film YouTube videos, they take ages to film a video. They'll do a video like this, which might be like 2 or 3 hours, or maybe 1 hour. Who knows how long this video is going to be. And they'll spend 3 weeks trying to film this video, right? They'll speak 1 point, take a 1-day break, then do 3 more points, and fuck that, right? Give yourself deadlines. Like, I'm going to get this done today, and just post the video, and then analyze and judge after. Remember, guys, if you want to change your life within 6 to 12 months, you got to move quick, because 6 to 12 months is kind of a long time, but also it can go by very quickly. If you're giving yourself a month before you implement some of these things that you've learned from this video, you're not going to change your life. You need to start implementing these things quickly. Every day, try and implement one of these lessons. Then your life will start really changing. But you got to be harsh on yourself, because like I said, you can lie to other people, but you should never lie to yourself. You have to be honest with yourself. You have to be strict on yourself. You have to be disciplined, because no one cares about you. No one's coming to save you. No one's coming to rescue you. If you don't perform, if you don't try and change your life yourself, your life will never change. It's as simple as that. Next point. One of my favorites as well. Sunday weekly review. So every Sunday, what I like to do is give myself a weekly review. I'll ask myself a few questions. How hard am I trying out of 100? What did I do good this week? What did I do wrong this week? How could I be better next week? What do I need to do next week? Right? Am I proud of this week? Was it a fun week? What was the biggest lesson I had? Who did I speak to that taught me something? What did I learn? And I'll ask myself all these different questions every Sunday. And then I'll review it and I'll write it down. Okay, I did good this week on this. I made these mistakes. You know what? This actually happened this week, because I remember the last 3 weeks I had were better than the last week I just had. The last week wasn't as good. So as I was writing down what I did wrong this week, I called it mistakes I made this week. And then I had like 17 different mistakes that I made. Some small, some bigger, because I'm harsh on myself. And after going through all these mistakes, I thought, I'm going to change all of them, like now. And I had a meeting with some people on my team, and I just went through all the mistakes with them. And then yesterday, which was Monday, was already dramatically a better day, because we fixed these other 17 things that we are fucking up with. So, super important. Too many people have like quarterly reviews, monthly reviews, yearly reviews. Guys, if you want to change your life fast, analyze things often. every day before you go to bed, in that half an hour before you go to bed, analyze and review your day. What did I do good? What can I do different tomorrow? That's like a small review. But every Sunday you can do a big review. Like really sit down, pen and paper, an hour and a half, and really map out what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and like just see everything written down. Once you write something down, it becomes way more clear. Like we said earlier in this video, if you want to avoid confusion, write things down. That's how you solve them. Now, I'm not saying you have to spend an hour and a half every Sunday, but initially, the first few weeks, put an hour and a half in. Get good at analyzing. Getting good at analyzing is a skill in of itself that you guys have to develop. I meet too many people who want to be entrepreneurs and they're not good at analyzing. They're not good at finding the root problem. They're not good at asking themselves questions. They're not good at writing things down and coming up with a plan to fix that problem in their life. So put the time in, get better at it. Point 17, try and improve 1% every single day. So there's a cycling team called Sky Cycling Team, right? And basically, many years ago, they hired a coach called Dave Brailsford. Now, by the way, the reason why I know the story is because I heard about it in a video. It's one of my favorite videos. It's like a 3-minute video talking about marginal gains, the idea of improving bit by bit. Anyway, Sky hired this coach called Dave Brailsford, and Dave Brailsford talked about this concept called the aggregation of marginal gains, which basically means tiny improvements compounded together make a massive difference. So basically, Dave Brailsford said that the Sky cycling team can go from being an average team, which they were once they first hired him, to being the best in the world within 5 years. And they actually became the best in the world within 3 years, all because they focused on improving 1% every day or as often as possible. So first, they tried to improve the big things that any cycling team would improve, the things that you'd expect, things such as better recovery, better diet, better training, all the usual things. But then they started really focusing on the tiny improvements that no one would really consider or think that it makes a difference, but it does when it's all compounded together. So things like which soap they use to wash their hands, because they know that if they wash their hands better and they reduce the amount of germs that are basically on them, then they're going to get ill less. If they get ill less, they can spend more time training and recovering instead of being ill. So all these things compounded together made them the best team in the world. But like I said, it took 3 years. So if you focus on being obsessed every day, finding those small gains that you can make, within a short space of time, you can massively change your life. And remember, these guys were competing on the biggest stage in the world. They're not trying to go from 0 or 5K or 10K a month to making 20, 40, 50K a month. These people went from being basically some of the best in the world to the very best in the world. It's way more competitive when you're already up there. So if you guys adopt the same mindset and you're making right now 8K a month profit and you want to get to 40K a month, you can go there really quickly because very few people think like this. You're going to easily surpass your competition because very few people actually try their best and actually improve 1% a day, step by step. Okay, so try and improve 1% a day. Like, think about how quickly you can change your life if every day you try to improve something bit by bit. For example, today, you focus, let's call it day one. Day one. And I'm going to tell my editor to put this on the screen. So day one, you fix your sleep schedule. Day two, you start drinking 3 liters of water. Day three, you start putting your phone away before you go to your bedroom, right? Half an hour before you go to your bedroom. Day four, you start planning your day. Day five, you start having Sunday weekly reviews, right? And you just keep going down and down and down. Think about how many changes you could have made by day 30. Maybe 30 things, maybe 40, maybe 50. Some days you're going to make 2 or 3 or 4 changes, right? And it's all going to start compounding so quickly. Very few people think like this, guys. You might think, Hassan, surely most people think like this. They don't. That's why very few people are multimillionaires at a young age, because they don't think like this. I was thinking like this, which is what made me get to this position. Most people just think, oh, I want to be rich. They go on Google, how to get rich. That's not how you're going to get rich, guys. How you're going to get rich is getting a bit better at sales, a bit better at marketing, a bit better at negotiation, a bit better at communication, a bit better at creating landing pages, a bit better at stress tolerance, a bit better at networking, a bit better at hiring employees, a bit better at firing employees, a bit better at managing people. Every day, a bit by bit, you're getting a little bit better. And then together, the aggregation of all these changes, now you're a much better entrepreneur than the previous version of yourself. And now you're making way more money because you've made yourself so much better by just consistently focusing on those small improvements. That's how it works. Point 18, focus on simplicity and avoid complexity. We talked about this already. You guys get the point. Focus on keeping things simple, guys. Don't try and complicate things. A lot of you might be listening to this video thinking, Hassan, it sounds so simple. It is. I'm the multi-millionaire. You're not. So just listen to what I'm saying. Keep it simple, bro. Okay? I don't mean this in an arrogant way. I've just learned all these lessons over 5-6 years now of being a business. Just keep it simple. There's a quote or a saying, like a slogan that says, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. It's in the name, right? Just keep it simple. Don't try and overcomplicate it. The dumbest people try and overcomplicate everything. The smartest and wisest people understood the only way to succeed is to keep things simple and forget about the rest. Next point. Don't drift. Be consciously aware. Don't just let your mind wander. So, if you want to change your life, you have to be very consciously aware of how you're spending your time. Like I said, you want to plan your time. You want to sleep at a certain time, wake up at a certain time, go to the gym at a certain time. You need to be intentional. How are you spending your time? What are you doing? This person you're spending time with over here, you're spending 2 hours a week talking to your friend. Is that a good investment of your time? Is this person an appreciating asset? Do they bring you any value? Or is this just a sink of time? Is this just a waste? Ask yourself these questions, right? Be aware, be conscious. Why are you going to the mall, for example, at 6 p.m.? You know, I know so many people who say, bro, Dubai has loads of traffic. I'm talking about like entrepreneurs I know, like friends of mine. They're like, bro, Dubai has loads of traffic. I'm like, not really, not for me. I don't seem to be bothered that much by traffic. They're like, how do you not get bothered by the traffic, bro? I'm like, I don't go out at the time where there's loads of traffic. If you go to Dubai Mall at 7 p.m., and I made this mistake a few weeks ago, I tried to buy the new iPhone. I went to the mall at like 7 or 8 p.m. Traffic was crazy. The mall was crazy. You could barely walk through the mall, right? Go at 2 p.m., the roads are empty, right? Like just be smart, be aware of what you're doing. Ask yourself, why am I going now? Why don't I go tomorrow at 2 p.m.? Ask yourself, why am I not making content on social media? Ask yourself, why am I not making more money? Why don't I raise my prices? Like, ask yourself questions and be consciously aware of why you do certain things. That's how you change your life. Most people, they just drift. They let the devil get into their mind and just affect them, right? They just let the devil get into them. They let other people's thoughts destroy them. Other people's doubts affect them. And before you know it, they're just drifting. They don't know why they're doing certain things. They wake up different times every day. They sleep at different times. They eat at different times. Everything's just a mess. And whenever I've done this in my life, I've always felt shit. You got to be conscious. Ask yourself, okay, I want to change my life. I'm only going to change my life if I'm consciously aware of how I'm spending my time, spending my energy, spending my money. Okay, I'm going to make a decision right now as I'm watching this video. I'm going to wake up at this time. I'm going to sleep at this time. I'm going to stop talking to these people. I'm going to start talking to better people. I'm going to join a community of like-minded people. I'm going to get a mentor. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to do this. Be conscious. Whenever you do something, ask yourself, what's the ROI of this action? Before you spend money, is this an investment or is this a waste of money? Ask yourself these questions. Wake up. Too many people live sleeping, drifting like a zombie. Wake up. Point 20. This is my favorite point of the whole fucking video. Make decisions fast. Whenever I've changed my life, it's always been when I've made a decision fast and I've just been aggressive with it. I thought, fuck it. I don't know what's the best course of action. I'm not sure. I haven't got all the information, but I'm just going to make a decision within 7 seconds. And I just count down from 7. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. And I choose. That's how you need to live your life. Don't be that kind of guy who's in a restaurant in front of everybody, maybe in front of girls or even your friends. You're looking at the menu like, oh, steak, chicken, oh, spaghetti bolognese. And you're like spending 4 minutes deciding what you want to eat. You're a full grown man, bro. Just mixed grill. I don't even look at the menu anymore because every restaurant I go to, I just order mixed grill. Mixed grill, please. Done. Decided within 7 seconds. That's how you need to live your life. Make all decisions fast. The difference between making a decision fast and spending an hour and a half to make a decision very rarely affects the results, but you've just wasted an hour and a half. Same thing with spending 2 weeks to make a decision. Yeah, bro, I just need to think about it. You've just wasted 2 weeks. You could have made the decision in 2 seconds. Move quicker, decide faster, and instantly your life will change. And I've said this before, guys. It's much better to choose the wrong decision, but quickly, than make the right decision slowly. And what I mean by this is this. Let's say you have a decision to make. There's only two kinds of decisions in life that you can make: an easy decision and a hard decision. An easy decision is when you have a couple choices, maybe 4 choices, 5 choices, or maybe 2 choices, but it's very easy which one you want to choose, right? So, for example, let's go back to the restaurant example. If you're in a restaurant and you have 2 options, steak or mushroom soup, and let's say you hate mushroom, it's a very easy decision. You're going to choose the steak. But let's say, so that's an easy decision. That should take you 3 seconds to make a decision. 1 second even. I want the steak, please. Done. I'm sure you guys all agree. Hassan, that makes complete sense. Now, most people get stuck because they say, bro, what about if I have a hard decision to make? So, for example, should I get the steak or should I get the mixed grill? Let's say you genuinely don't know what you should get, the steak or the mixed grill, and you're just confused. My logic is this: if you're stuck on the decision, that's because you like both choices, the steak and the mixed grill. So just choose either because you like both of them. And let's say you get the steak and then you think, you know what? I kind of regret it. I wish I got the mixed grill. Who gives a fuck? You like both. Just get on with it. You know, this is my rule of thumb for every decision in life. If it's a tough decision and it's close, if I was right or if I was wrong, it doesn't really matter. Just move quickly. Now, obviously, this is a small example, ordering food from a fucking menu, and I'm sure you guys understand the difference, but I'm using this just as an example. Same thing with business. If you're choosing between this logo and this logo, if you can't choose between this logo or this logo, just flip a coin, let the coin decide, get on with it, carry on. If you can't decide between having this price point or this price point, choose the lower price point, and then if loads of people are buying and it's selling like hotcakes, you can always up the price. Don't overcomplicate it, right? Keep things simple. Like I said, simplicity scales, complexity fails. Next point. Point 21. Where is your energy going? Ask yourself this question. I love this point. I love all these points, guys, because at the end of the day, I implement all these 41 points in my life, so they work. Where is your energy going? What you got to do, again, is do an audit, right? Everyone's always managing their money, asking themselves, where's my money going? I need to budget my money. But no one seems to budget their time, budget their energy. Ask yourself, where is your energy going? Are you spending a lot of time talking to the wrong people? Are you spending a lot of time watching Netflix, playing video games, smoking weed, doing drugs? Ask yourself, where is your time and energy going? If you know where your energy is going, then you can look at the list and think, does this help me get richer? Does this help me become more successful? Does this give me what I want? If the answer is no, then remove it from your life. Remove it. Netflix isn't helping you. Okay, instantly delete your Netflix subscription. I remember about 6 or 7 months ago, I bought a PlayStation and I started playing a few games of FIFA with my brother. And before you know it, we were playing like 2 games a day, and it was taking like an extra 30 to 35 minutes a day of that time. And as soon as I realized that every day we were playing around 2 games, I instantly grabbed the PlayStation and I smashed it on the floor. Now, most people, what they do is when they realize they've made a mistake, they'll look at that and think, oh, I've got to sell my PlayStation. They'll put it on eBay. They'll list the price. It'll take a week to sell, 2 weeks to sell. And before you know it, no one's bought the PlayStation and they continuously play PlayStation until the PlayStation sells. Once you realize you've made a mistake, if you're serious about changing your life, instantly smash the PlayStation. Instantly delete your Netflix account, cancel the subscription. Throw your TV out of your bedroom. If you realize you watch 2 hours of movies every night before bed and that's what's keeping you up late at night, then throw your TV out the window. Don't even sell it. Don't even give it to someone. Just throw it on the floor. Break it. Because then it's gone. Instantly, the problem has been removed. Then your mind can start focusing on the next important task. The quicker you eliminate the problem, the quicker you eliminate the obstacle, the quicker you can move on to the next problem. Business is just about problem solving. The quicker you solve one problem, the quicker you move on to the next one, the quicker you start making money. So if you realize you're playing too much PlayStation, instantly bin it. If you realize you're spending too much time with the wrong kind of friends, and every time you're with this friend and this friend, you start smoking weed, guess what? Cut those friends out of your life. Very simple. Next time they say, hey bro, do you want to hang out? No, because you know you're going to smoke weed again, and you don't want to smoke weed again. You know it's unproductive. You know it's not good for you. It's a waste of energy. All right? I think that point's simple enough. Okay, so also let's talk about doing the most important work at the time of the day when you're feeling the best. So why a lot of people feel like they have low energy is because they try and do their big tasks, the tasks that require the most energy in the times of the day where they feel low energy. So, for example, if you know you have the most energy in the morning, do the biggest tasks in the morning. If you have the most energy in the afternoon, then do the biggest tasks in the afternoon. If you have the most energy in the evening, do the biggest tasks in the evening. Now, most people, statistically speaking, have the most energy in the first few hours after they wake up because their willpower is the highest, their discipline levels are the highest, their energy levels are the highest. Naturally, as you progress throughout the day, you get more tired, you become more fatigued, and it's easier to do other kinds of tasks, not the most important. So if you have something important to do, for example, like writing a book, making a video, let's say, creating this new project, maybe hiring a bunch of new employees, let's say whatever you think drains your energy the most, do that at the start of the day. Whatever you enjoy doing the most, do it later on in the day. So for me, making these videos, I enjoy doing these videos. They don't take that much energy for me because I like talking and I just speak my mind. It's not like I'm out here scripting and planning my points. I mean, I've just written down 41 points and I just speak my mind. So for me, I can do this at 10 o'clock at night. Like right now as I'm speaking, it's like 8:45 at night. But in general, I do them at like 11 o'clock at night because for me, it's easy. But if I have something that's more important or I have something which drains my energy, I put it towards the start of the day. So just choose when you do your most important tasks, when you have the most energy. Okay? It's really simple. But the reason why people feel drained on energy is because they do all the simple tasks at the start of the day or when they have the most energy, and then they do the biggest task when they're feeling tired already, and then they're like, oh, why am I feeling tired? Why am I not being so productive? Because you're just approaching things incorrectly. Okay? Structure your day in such a way where when you're feeling fresh, you do the biggest things. Okay. So those points kind of go together. If you want to have more energy, structure your day, choose when you do the right tasks. Also, one way to get more energy is by attacking the lowest hanging fruit. So if you're feeling tired midway through the day for no random reason, for a random reason, and you're like, why am I tired right now? It doesn't make sense. I slept good and everything's supposed to be good. Just do something to get the ball rolling again, right? Call your mom, tell her you love her, call your friend, go to the gym, just do anything to get some momentum. Do some press ups, call your mom, call your dad, call your sister, call your brother, just do something to get some momentum. Open a bottle of water, down some water, and now you've got momentum. Now you're more likely to do the next task, because what ends up happening when people are tired is they're just in this like state of analysis and they haven't really done anything and they're just sitting there like scrolling TikTok or scrolling Instagram, like, what should I do now? And just do something. Once you do the first thing, things open up. But again, this is why it's so good to plan your day, because if you always wake up at the same time, you always sleep at the same time, you go gym at the same time, then what you'll start realizing is you're always tired at the same time. And then you can plan a task during that time when you feel the most tired. So, for example, if every day, midway through the day, let's say you wake up at 8 a.m. and you sleep at midnight, then for you, midway through the day is 4 p.m. If you're always tired from about 4 to 5, right? In that 1 hour, you can plan to call your mom, you can plan to have a break, you can plan to chill a bit, you can plan to go for a walk outside, you can plan to like listen to videos like this. The point I'm making is if you know you're most tired at this time, then you can plan fun things to do to get yourself through the hour. Then maybe after the hour, after you feel rejuvenated and you've got yourself, you've caught a second wind of energy, then you can attack more work. So it's important to know yourself when you're feeling energetic, when you're feeling tired. Point 24, change the music you listen to. So I know lots of people want to get rich and then they listen to Juice WRLD, they listen to some random music. Those songs are just programming you to be sad and broke and emotional and just like a loser, right? Listen to 50 Cent, listen to Little Baby, listen to these songs. Now, also, I don't want to just say listen to rappers, but also just change the music you listen to. If your whole life you've been listening to this genre of music, try listening to different kinds of music. Try working to jazz music, right? That's another way you can get more energy when you're working. Sometimes you're a bit tired, you're a bit bored of working without no sound. All right, play some jazz music in the background. It kind of creates that cigar lounge vibe. Maybe you're typing away, maybe you're, I don't know. Depends on your work. You're sending emails, you're writing something, I don't know, right? If you have some jazz music in the background, it might make you feel like you're out and about. It might make you feel like you're in some nice cigar lounge, then you get extra dopamine, and then you're more likely to stay working. So try and find a way to create that ambience in your house. Maybe you need a candle, maybe you need some special hue lights, maybe you need jazz music. Just change up your music from time to time. It makes you feel like you're in a different environment. right? If you're always listening to this kind of music, switch it up to this kind of music. And also, what I found is when I listen to different music in different periods of my life, it helps me remember that period of my life more. So tell yourself this is the period of your life where you're going to reinvent yourself. You're going to change everything in the next 6 to 12 months. So listen to songs about taking over the world, changing your life, songs about becoming rich, songs about making it, songs about really becoming a winner. So listen to Nipsey Hussle, listen to 50 Cent, listen to Kanye West, listen to Jay-Z, right? When you listen to these songs, they're going to program you. Your subconscious mind is going to start to change if all you do is listen to these winners. Next point, point 25, train harder than ever. Super important. If you go gym, train hard. If you train hard, it's going to make you feel different about yourself. Every time I've gone to the gym and I've trained hard, I felt better about myself for the rest of the day. When you go to the gym and you don't push yourself so much, you feel low energy, you feel weak, you feel bad about yourself. Train as hard as you can, right? People will take you more seriously in your life if you train hard. And also, this is called How to Reinvent Yourself in 6 to 12 months, okay? If you train really hard, that is going to recreate yourself. It's going to help you change yourself. It's going to help give you a different identity. People are going to start treating you differently. It's not just about making more money. It's about being the full package. If you go gym and you take it seriously, you're going to have a different confidence. You're going to communicate differently. Others are going to take you more seriously. You're not going to be worrying about if a girl rejects you or not. You're genuinely going to just think it's her loss because I'm making money. I'm in good shape. I'm strong. I can defend myself. It's super important. I remember when I was doing door-to-door sales, I was knocking on doors. I remember back in those days, I was taking gym quite seriously. And it just gave me a different sense of confidence. If I was knocking on a door of a stranger, knock, knock, and they answer the door, and I feel physically strong, I'm not as intimidated. I'm not mentally affected. They can slam the door in my face. I won't give a fuck. And the truth is if you're stronger, people aren't going to slam the door in your face as much. They're going to be more wary around you. They're going to think this guy's strong. He's going to be confident. People just treat you differently. I don't even need to explain this anymore. You guys know what I'm saying. The whole dynamic of your life changes when you're in better shape, when you're stronger, when you go to the gym consistently. If you don't go to the gym consistently, life is completely different. And I used to be in better shape than I am in now. And it's one of my priorities moving forward again to get back in better shape. And it makes such a difference. When you are in better shape, your whole life changes. So go gym. I can't stress this enough. Everyone focuses too much on money. If you focus more on gym and fighting, boxing, and sparring, you'll have a different confidence about you. Too many people overestimate themselves in the physical world. If you get your strength up, you'll be happier as a man. This is the next section. We're going to be talking about environment and people, right? This is huge. Okay, so I've got 5 points for you guys about your environment. Point 1, or point 26 of the video, change your friends, okay? Guys, your friends make or break you. Your network is your net worth. Everyone's heard this saying before, okay? If you are trying to become a millionaire while you're hanging around low-level people, you're going to stay a low-level person. If you hang around high-level people, you'll become high-level. You'll pick up on new things. Your thoughts will start to change. Your mindset will start to change. Your standards will increase. Everything about you will be different if you are around the right people. If you're around the wrong people, everything will get worse. Okay, so instead of thinking, how can I change my life? And I need to make sure everything in my life is perfect. Focus on the moves that give you the highest ROI. If you change your social circle, instantly your life is going to change. It's one of the biggest changes you can make. Everything will come down to the people you spend time with, right? Your environment is everything because we talk about your subconscious mind. We talk about believing in yourself more. We've talked about all these things in this video. But you're only going to have a good mindset if you're around the right people. If you're around the wrong people, you're going to start thinking negatively. I talk to so many people who say, Hassan, how do I stay motivated when my parents are hating on me, when my friends are hating on me? And I try and tell you, bro, you're always going to think negatively if you're around low-level people. Your job is to get out of that negative environment. So do an audit of who you spend time with. Like we said earlier in this video, this guy, is he good for you? Is this friend you have right here, is he a net negative or a net positive? If the answer is net negative, he's got to go. Now, some of you might think that's extreme, but life is extreme. You're not going to get to what you want and have extreme changes in 6 to 12 months and completely reinvent yourself if you're not willing to make hard decisions. Some decisions you make are going to have to be difficult, guys. Now, I'm not saying you can never see this person again. What I mean is you have to massively reduce and drop down the amount of time you spend with them. If you're spending 3 hours with them a week, see them once every 2 months for 3 hours, right? Drop the time you spend with them by 80 to 90%. That's going to make your life better, okay? Point 27, get a mentor. So not only do you want to spend time with people who are positive and they think like you, who are on a similar level, and you want to remove people who are on a much lower level who just drag you down and they're negative. You also want to spend time with people who are on a much higher level than you, who can show you the path, who can show you things, can teach you things, and show you what it took to reach their level. So get yourself a mentor. Now, a lot of people ask, Hassan, what's the best way to get a mentor? Guys, there's many ways you can try and go about getting a mentor. Most of the ways are bullshit. There's one universal way to get access to anyone, and that is just pay. Right? Everyone's trying to offer people their services for free. They say, if you mentor me, I'll work for you for free. If you do this, I'll help you. Listen, the whole point is the mentor is above you, right? They don't need your free service. They don't need your free help. They already have employees. You're not helping them by offering to work for them for free. I think it was Warren Buffett who had a story about when he was younger, how he tried to work for someone for free. And the person got back to him and basically said, your service is too expensive. Meaning, you working for me for free is just still too expensive, right? It's not worth it for me. I'd rather just pay someone who's really good at what they do. I'm the one who's taken the loss in this interaction. I'm the one who has to train you. I'm the one who's mentoring you. You working for free is still a benefit for you. It's still too good of a deal for you. So don't try and offer people your work for free. Just pay people if you want access to them. I've spent 300-400K on mentors over the years, and I've learned so much just by paying. Trying to be smart and frugal and trying to get things without paying just doesn't work. You know, I can't go into too much detail. I don't want to mention their names, but about 3 weeks ago, I messaged someone who is very, very big on the internet. You guys will all know who they are. One of the most successful people in the industry they're in. Let's just leave it at that. And I messaged them and asked them, I don't know what I exactly said, but I asked them, actually, no, sorry, let me rephrase this. It was about 2 months ago, I messaged them, okay? And they said they'll get back to me. They didn't get back to me. And then a month later, out of the blue, this person called me. And what basically happened is they called me and said, don't worry, you don't have to pay me. Because I said, yo, bro, I'll pay you. I really appreciate your work. I want to pay you, ask you some questions. And from what I remember, this was a few weeks ago. They just called me out of the blue and said, no, you don't have to pay me. Just ask me the questions now. And I did a half an hour call with them for free. After the call, I messaged this person again saying, bro, I super appreciate this call. I really appreciate you. Thank you. I just wanted to ask you a few more questions. And before I even said, I want to ask you a few questions, I said, send me your crypto address. I want to send you $5,000 just as a thank you for that half an hour call. Out of appreciation for your time. Just please answer these 4 questions via text or voice note and you have a chance. Thank you so much. This person said to me, okay, bro, he sent me the crypto and he said, I'll get back to you in a few days regarding the response. So I was super respectful and super appreciative of the fact this person did a half an hour call with me for free. Because I appreciated it so much anyway, I just wanted to pay the 5K. I didn't want to get something for free. I don't like that. This person, instead of getting back to me a few days later like they promised, right? They got back to me a few days later and called me again. This time, it wasn't a half an hour call. This time, it was a 1.5 hour call, like 1 hour, 28 minutes. So they did a 1.5 hour call with me just because I paid them 5K. Now, you guys might be thinking 5K is a lot of money. But this person, like I said, is one of the most successful people in that entire industry they're in. So it's actually super cheap. So you guys are trying to get things for cheap. You guys are trying to get things for free. That's why you don't access the highest level people in society, because the highest level people in society, they want to talk to people who respect them. When I was on the call with this person and they were giving me advice, I was writing notes. I was paying attention. After the call, I once again said thank you for the call. And instantly I applied some of the feedback and sent them screenshot proof, picture proof that I've applied some of the things they told me. People like when you apply things that they've told you. It makes them want to help you more. Do you guys get what I'm saying? And at the end of the call, they said that later on in this month, they'll invite me to their house and we can meet again in person. They can help me out with some other things. Just because I showed respect. Like, how many people in life, when you tell them, don't worry, bro, I'll do the call with you for free, after the call are going to insist to pay you $5,000? Very few people. I know if someone did that to me, I'd think, wow, this person is different. This person is different than all the other clients I'm used to. It's just a different level of appreciation and respect. People like talking to those kind of people. If you want to get the best mentors, go out of your way to show respect for the journey they've been on, because anybody on a level higher than you has been through more than you. They've put in more repetitions. They've been in the trenches longer. They've also invested more money and time and energy into mentors, into learning, into bettering themselves. They want to be spoken to with respect. They don't want to have some guy ask them a bunch of questions, not really appreciate them, act like they didn't need the help. They want people who are grateful for the time this mentor is giving them. So that's just another lesson for you guys. But hope that really makes sense for you, because I've done this many times with people where I've really been appreciative of the time they've given me, and it's always led to more. And it has to be genuine. Like, you have to be the kind of person who really values other people's time and high level information. If you're the kind of person who doesn't really see the power of networking and getting access to high level mentors and new information, then you're never going to appreciate it when you get access to these people. You have to be the kind of person who really understands that the only way you're going to get to the next level is talking to people on the next level. That's it. Just speak to people who've walked the path before you. So that nicely leads on to the next point, which is point 28. Move out of your hometown. So this one is just major. Okay. This might be, I mean, I say this about so many of the points, but this is so important. Okay. Once you move out of your hometown, so many things are going to naturally change for you. You're going to naturally start hanging out with different people, right? You naturally have more chance of bumping into those high level mentors, right? You're going to be away from some of those toxic friends from back in school you had, or back in university, or from college. Naturally, as you move out of your hometown, it's going to fix so many of these other problems you might have. So I can't stress this point enough. If you want to suddenly change your life, move. Right? Don't overcomplicate it. Don't sit there and ask yourself, why is that going to change my life? Should I do this? Yes, trust me. If there's one thing you can take away from this video, apply this. Move out of your hometown. You're never going to reach your full potential if you're around what you've been around your entire life. You need to change your environment. Another reason why staying in your hometown can be dangerous to your progress is because you're always reminded by other people as who you once were, instead of trying to become this new person. So, for example, you meet your friends and they tell you, bro, you're trying to be different. Who do you think you are? You're deluded. You can't be a millionaire. Whereas when you move to a city like Dubai, Miami, Los Angeles, these kind of places, you meet all these other ambitious people who have moved from all over the world to this city to try and better their life. So the friends you make are going to be people who believe they can change their life. Whereas in your hometown, everybody around you is thinking small, or the vast majority of people. So every time you have a conversation with someone, they're thinking and talking small. Whereas when you go to these big boy cities, I like to call them, every conversation you have is about growth, is about leveling up. Whereas in your hometown, you're always reminded by who you once were. And if you're trying to change your life and remove all that negativity and get to this new level, then you got to leave that place. You got to leave the place that kept you low level. I remember the first time I went to Miami, guys. It was like November 2021. And I remember when I first pulled up to Miami, I remember as I was getting at the airport, deciding which hotel I want to stay in. And I remember, I think it was the Four Seasons or the SLS. I can't remember which one. It might have been like SLS Lux or SLS Brickle. I can't remember what it's called. Anyway, I remember sitting on my balcony in my hotel room. It's a 5-star hotel. I remember sitting on my balcony with like a big gallon of milk. And I remember just sitting there on the balcony looking at all these buildings, thinking like, wow, this place is like GTA. And I'll never forget when I was deciding between which hotel I'll stay at, the 4-star or the 5-star. This was like 4 years ago. So I was making money. I had money coming in from my door-to-door sales team, but I wasn't like as rich as I am now. I was deciding, should I stay in this hotel that's like $300 a night? Should I stay in this hotel that's like $150 a night? I remember thinking, I'm gonna stay in this one, the more expensive one. The first car I see parked up in this hotel, God kill me if I'm lying. I swear to God, this is a true story. A black, it's like shiny black gloss Bugatti Chiron. And I'd never seen a Bugatti before in person. I just see a Bugatti there parked. I was like, holy fucking shit, it's a Bugatti. And I remember thinking, wow, like, wow. And I get goosebumps saying this right now because I remember thinking, like, should I stay in this hotel or should I stay in that hotel? And because I just made that decision, that was a Bugatti. I'd never seen one before in person. So it really just shows you, like, once you start going to these big cities, you instantly see more wealth. You see more opportunities. And I remember when I walked into the hotel lobby, I remember just seeing like these two super hot women just with this one dude. It was a bit of an older dude. Maybe he was like in his 50s. But I remember just thinking to myself, like, whoa, this city's got money, got ballers, got hot girls. Like, if you grow up in Coventry or you grow up in Michigan, you're just going to see like lower level people. But once you go to Miami, you go to Dubai, you see the best of the best people, the highest caliber people. You see celebrities, you see athletes, you see people on top of their game. and it just motivates you differently. So, guys, when you're in these big cities, your network's going to improve. The opportunities are going to improve. Things are going to come to you which you never thought were possible. You're going to meet someone at a boxing class. They're going to invite you to some event. You can go to this event, and your whole worldview is going to start to change. People in big cities are completely different than in these small towns. So, if you're sat there thinking, why should I move up my hometown? Trust me, your whole life will change. Your bank balance will blow up. Your social life will blow up. Everything will just blow up. Everything will just shoot up to the next level. If you want to reinvent yourself, change where you are, everything will change. Next point, change your style. This is a very short and simple one. If you're used to wearing, clothing with big logos on the middle, if you're used to wearing clothing with just SpongeBob SquarePants logos and designs, change what you're wearing. Start wearing different kind of clothes, more formal. People are going to take you more seriously, think you're older than you actually are, and more opportunities are going to come your way. So this one's very basic. But again, this video is called How to Change Yourself or How to Reinvent Yourself in 6 to 12 months. So if you want people to treat you differently, if you want people to start perceiving you differently, change how you dress. Instantly, people are going to treat you differently. Instantly, people are going to think you're a new man, right? If you're used to wearing, you know, children's clothing effectively, start dressing a bit more maturely. Start dressing like you're an older person. And all of a sudden, women will take you more seriously. Other people will take you more seriously. Your life will improve. Point 30. Make big decisions in your life that you were putting off before. So we all have those decisions in life that we've been delaying taking action on. We're thinking, we know we need to address this. We know we need to confront this, but we haven't made the decision yet. So whatever decision you have right now in your life that you've been putting off, decide on it now as you're watching this video. Think, okay, I'm just going to decide left or right, yes or no, up or down, this or this. Like, just decide. Stop delaying, because nothing is going to change until you've made that decision. Delayed decisions aren't going to fix themselves. They're just going to slow down your progress. I look at life like this, guys. If you have a problem or if you have a decision to make, once you've made that decision, then you can enter the next level of the game. It's almost like playing a video game. You're stuck on a level. You can't beat the final boss of that level. If you don't beat that final boss, it's not like you're just going to automatically get to the next level. You have to fully confront that final boss in the video game, defeat him, then you can move on to the next level. It's the same thing with life. Unless you've made that decision that's holding you back, unless you finally pull the trigger and decide what you want to do, you're going to be stuck at that level forever and eventually even go down. You need to make those hard decisions that you're putting off to truly shoot up a level. Okay? Next thing, section 5. We're going to be talking about skills and execution. So you guys have the mindset you need, you have the structure. Now it's time to talk about some skills that you need to add on to your game. Point 31, you need to learn sales. Every business revolves around sales. Every businessman who became rich understood sales. Every millionaire you know knows sales. Sales and marketing are super important, okay? But sales is what I started off with in business, okay? Sales is key, okay? Every business has a product and then it needs someone selling this product. That is all it is. Every business is sales. So if you practice your selling ability, you will make more money. If you're better at sales, you'll make more money. If you're worse at sales, you'll make less money. Oftentimes, the people who make more money than you are just better than you at sales. Maybe you're just as good at them at all these other skills, but if they're just quite a lot better than you at sales, that's enough for them to make more money than you. That's how important sales is. So practice improving your selling ability. If you haven't got a business right now, get on a sales offer, right? Become a high ticket closer for someone else. Maybe start appointment setting for someone else. Maybe start selling your own product. Just start practicing your sales as quickly as possible. If you have a normal 9 to 5 job right now and you're working in some grocery store and you're not happy with it, quit the job and get a door-to-door sales job. Once you practice knocking on doors, speaking to strangers, it will help you get over rejection. It will help you become a better communicator. It will give you more confidence. It will give you more energy. Everything will come better for you once you become a better salesman. Now, when most people think of sales, they think of someone who's like a sleazy salesman, someone who's trying to be sneaky. That's not what sales is. All sales is showing people that your product can help them solve their problem. That's it. Okay? You just got to show them, these are your problems. This is my product. My product here can help you solve your problems because it's also helped solve this person's problems, this person's problems, and this person's problems, and they're the exact same problems as you. It's just about showing them what they don't know. Okay? So learn sales. Point 32, learn a high income skill. So a lot of people complain that they're bank account isn't what they want it to be. They're not making the money they want to make, and they're wondering why. And they watch all these videos talking about have a cold shower, meditate, journal, and all these things. But something they're missing, which is crucial, is actually being good at something. You have to be good at something to make money. Either you're an editor, either you're a cameraman, either you make funnels, either you help people make VSLs, either you're a script writer, right? Either you're an email marketer, either you are a master at Photoshop, you're a director of movies, you're an actor. Like you're good at something. You have to be good at something. Now, if you go on ChatGPT or you go online and ask Google, name 100 different high income skills, they'll give you a list of 100 high income skills. Maybe we'll pop some more on the screen so you guys can get an idea of what a high income skill is. But you just have to choose one of them. Get good at something. How is someone going to pay you money if you're not good at something? If you're a good cameraman, you can charge $200 per hour of your time. You work 10 hours a day, you're going to make 2 grand a day. Then you build a social media page up, you start getting clients from social media. You show people who you've worked with, you show people the different edits you've made, you show people your work, then people are going to DM you. Just earlier today, because I have an event coming up with some of the new money members in Dubai, I messaged a cameraman and said, hey, are you free on this day between this time and this time? He got back to me and said, yes. And his prices are quite expensive because he's very good at what he does. So if you want to make money, you have to be good at something. If he wasn't good at anything, if he wasn't good at filming, I wouldn't want to hire him. You have to be good at something. Now, what most people do is they try and get a little bit good at 10 different things. That's a mistake. What you want to do is get really good at something. Spend 4 or 5 hours a day developing your skills at one thing. And within 2 or 3 months, you've put in a couple hundred hours on that one thing, and you're going to be better than 99% of people at something. Because there's something called the 100-hour rule. And the 100-hour rule basically means if you put 100 hours into anything, you're going to be better than 95% of people at that thing. So if you put in, let's say, 4 hours a day, okay, for a month straight, that's 120 hours. So already within a month, you're better than 95% of people at that thing. If you put another 4 hours a day in for the second month, that's another 120 hours. Now, in total, that's 240 hours. If you put in 240 hours at anything, bro, you're going to be in the top 1 or 2% at that thing. Then you can start charging people for your services. Then you are going to be good at copywriting. Then you are going to be good at writing emails. Then you are going to be good at editing videos because you're better than 99% of people at that thing. And every month that goes on, you're going to become better and better and better at your craft. And even if you work a 9 to 5 job right now, you still have time to put in 2 to 3 hours a night at a high income skill and develop your craft. You work 8 hours, maybe transport is 20 minutes, like 20 minutes there, 20 minutes back. That's another like roughly 40 minutes, hour, right? Let's just call that 9 hours. Spend another hour relaxing after work, maybe eating some food. That's 10 hours. You got 6 hours left. Maybe an hour for the gym. You got 5 hours left. Okay. You guys get what I'm saying? 2 of them can go towards learning a new skill. Within a few months, you're going to be good at something. You're going to be able to start getting a lot of clients. So develop your high income skills. Point 33, learn new high level information. If you want to recreate yourself, reinvent yourself, you have to learn new things. The current version of yourself is who he is because of all the information he has and all the skills he has and your level of awareness. So every day you should be trying to become more aware, more skilled, and have more information. If you are smarter and smarter every single day that goes by, you're going to eventually make more money. If every day you're becoming more consciously aware of what you need to fix, what you need to get better at, again, you're going to start making more money. You're going to live the life you want. So every day, learn new things. Before you go to bed, in the half an hour you have before bed, ask yourself, what did I learn today? What did I improve on? Did I actually get better or am I wasting time? Ask yourself every day, what am I getting better at? Because if you're not getting better every day, then you're not getting ahead. You're falling behind. You got to be very, very strict on yourself, guys, and ask yourself, how am I getting better? How am I changing my life? Also, guys, you're only going to get the high level information and be able to even retain this information and come across this information if you're investing in the mentors, if you're moving out of your hometown, if you're talking to the right people. So all these points I'm making, they all combine together. It all compounds, right? Don't just listen to some of these points and think, yeah, that's pretty good. Combine them all together and watch how your whole life changes. So many people try and make just one change in their life and they say, oh, why is it not working? You got to make consistently more changes, but they all come together. That's what really makes the difference. Okay. When everything combines together, that's when you notice, whoa, my life is completely different. Okay? You can't skip steps and just think to yourself, okay, I'm going to learn sales and all of a sudden I'm going to be a millionaire. Like, yeah, learning sales will help you, but you also have to have a good routine. You also got to plan your time. You also got to be learning new things every day. You also got to be learning other skills. Okay? Every one of these points I've told you so far, they all work together. Okay? Next thing, number 34, track your finances. Okay? It's amazing to me how many men, especially young dudes, make money, but they don't track their money. If you make 10K a month, you should know where those dollars are going. If you make 5K a month, you should know where that money is going. However much you make, you should know where it's going. Okay? Because once you know where your money is going, then you know how to best allocate it. So let's say you make 10K a month, or 5K a month, or 2K a month, whatever. You should know this much I'm spending on food, this much I'm spending on rent, this much I'm spending on fun, this much I'm spending on savings and investments. You should know where your money is going. That's what's going to help you get to the next level. Because if you don't track it, if you don't allocate funds for certain things, then you're just going to end up blowing a bunch of money on dumb shit. You're going to spend too much money on takeout, right? Too much money on things that don't help you get closer to your goals. Let's say you make 4K a month and you say, okay, every month, no matter what, I'm going to save $1,000 towards this thing, for example. Okay, then you know you've got 3K and you can spend it how you like. But you know you're saving 1K a month for this thing, for example, whatever that might be. Maybe you're saving it for a mentor, you're going to invest it into something, okay? Be intentional. Track your finances. Be smart. Because so many people, even the guys making a lot of money, like 20K a month, they just blow their money every month on dumb shit. They should be reinvesting it into their business. They should be reinvesting it into ads. They should be reinvesting it into a mentor. Like I said, a few weeks ago, I invested in that mentor, but I invested in 2 other mentors that same week. I spent 45K a couple weeks ago on mentors. 5K on one mentor, 25K on another mentor, and 15K on another mentor. 45K in total. Okay? So know where your money's going. You're only going to spend money on mentors and stuff if you know where your money's going. Point 35. How hard are you trying from 1 to 100? Okay. 1 being you're not trying at all. 100 being your life depends on it. You're giving it your very, very best. You're trying your absolute best, like your family's life depends on you succeeding. Most of you, if you're being honest, are trying 20 out of 100, 10 out of 100, 25 out of 100. If you want to recreate yourself, one of the easiest ways you can do this is just by asking yourself, how hard am I trying? Looking at your score and thinking, I'm going to try harder, right? You're trying 10 out of 100? All right, start trying 40 out of 100. You're giving it 20% effort? Try 70%. You're giving it 70%? Try 90%. The harder you work, the quicker you'll reinvent yourself, right? It's as simple as that. People sit there and pretend that it's something really complicated to change your life. It's just a decision that you're going to actually level up. If you really were obsessed with the idea of leveling up, if someone told you you have to level up, imagine someone told you your family is going to die unless you make $1 million in 2026. I guarantee you'd start working extremely hard from now. You'd be working all day. You wouldn't take forever to make a decision. You'd seek out the right mentors. You'd seek out the right friends. You'd move from your hometown. You wouldn't spend so much time scrolling content on social media. You'd be learning new information. You'd be implementing things quickly. You'd be serious about your growth because you know what the consequences are if you don't level up. You got to start putting more pressure on yourself, guys. Ask yourself, how hard are you trying? And force yourself to work harder. Force yourself to give it more effort. That's how you're going to change. And also, if you really want to make sure you stick to working hard, like we said earlier in this video, find a reason to want to work hard. Find a reason to give it your best. Have things to look forward to. Give yourself rewards if you hit certain goals. Tell yourself if you accomplish this amount of money this month, you're going to reward yourself with a vacation. You're going to reward yourself with a new laptop. You're going to reward yourself with a new phone. You're going to reward yourself with a day going to the beach club, not working, just having fun. Whatever that might be, whatever you think is fun. Give yourself something to aim for, okay? Next section, we're going to be talking about improving your bravery and becoming more courageous, becoming a risk taker. Point 36, do something scary each week. Whatever you are afraid of, do it one time at least that week. If you're really afraid of ice baths, have an ice bath. If you're really afraid of talking to a hot girl, talk to a hot girl. I was talking to someone a few months ago. I was walking with this dude. It's a long story. And this dude was afraid of talking to a girl. We were in a shopping mall together. And this dude was afraid of talking to this hot girl that he liked. I was like, bro, what the fuck are you doing? Go talk to her. Now, I'm not saying this in some mean way to him. I wasn't trying to be mean to him. I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just trying to encourage him. I was like, bro, go talk to her. Why are you afraid of talking to her? The worst case scenario in this situation is she says no to you. The worst case scenario is she says, no, I'm not interested. You're not my type. The worst case scenario. The most likely scenario is she either gives you her Instagram and you guys like each other, or she just says, sorry, I have a boyfriend or something. That's like the most likely two scenarios, right? The best case scenario, you get her Instagram or number, you go on a few dates, you guys fall in love, and you have some children together, right? Maybe that's the best case scenario. So, what are you really afraid of? But you got to start asking yourself these questions. What am I afraid of? And do one thing at least that week. If you're scared to do a live stream on social media, do a live stream. If you're scared of talking to a girl, go talk to a girl. If you're scared of going to the boxing gym and sparring someone, go to the boxing gym. If you're scared of looking stupid in front of people, put yourself in environments where you might look stupid in front of people. If you're afraid and intimidated of talking to people smarter than you and richer than you know what to do. Put yourself in places and positions where you might be a bit afraid, a bit fearful. It's going to make you a stronger person. Trust me, bro. The reason why it's so important to face your fears and just attack them is because comfort kills momentum. When you're too comfortable, right, it'll just destroy all your momentum, all your progress. When you're constantly attacking things you're afraid of, you'll gain this new sense of confidence, this new sense of excitement towards life. You'll think no one can stop me, nothing can stop me, and you'll just start feeling way better about yourself. You'll start feeling more confident that any obstacle, any problem that comes up, you can handle it and you can deal with it, right? Whereas if you're always afraid of something and you refrain from attacking that point, attacking that thing, in the back of your mind, the fear is going to grow more and more and more. And you're just going to feel super insecure within yourself. You're going to think, I hope I'm not in another position where I have to talk to this girl. Or I hope I'm not in another position where my friend tells me to post on social media. Or I'm scared of closing someone on a sales call. Whatever you're afraid of, it's a sign from the universe that you need to attack that thing. Think about how good you'd feel if you just got over some of your fears. If you're afraid of posting on social media and now all of a sudden you can post on social media without worrying. Think about how good you'd feel about yourself. Think about how much more confidence that would give you. Think about how many more girls you'd get if you just go up to a girl and talk to her out in public. Think about how happy and peaceful you'd feel knowing that you're not afraid of combat. You actually can defend yourself in a fight and you've done some sparring and you weren't always running away from it. Think about how happy you'd be as a man if whatever was holding you back right now mentally, you just confronted it. It will make you so much happier. I know so many people from my door-to-door sales days, because for those of you who don't know, not only I was doing door-to-door sales, I had a door-to-door sales team. So I've seen many people who were afraid of knocking on doors confront their fear of knocking on doors. And trust me, very quickly after knocking on some doors, you're going to get good at knocking on some doors and you're going to get over your fear. I've seen it happen so many times. People were afraid and then quickly they weren't afraid anymore. Because once you do a few repetitions, the fear just disappears. Once you talk to that first girl, you're going to talk to the second one. Once you knock on that first one or two door, you're not going to care about the third door, the third rejection. Same thing with social media, same thing with outreach, same thing with talking to a mentor, same thing with traveling alone, same thing with eating in a restaurant alone. I know some people are afraid of going to a restaurant alone and sitting on a table alone and eating food because they're worried about what other people are going to think of them. What the fuck? You're a full-grown man. You should not be embarrassed by going to a restaurant, bro. Now, I know some of you are, but come on. Focus on getting over this fear. This week, set yourself a goal. I'm going to go to a restaurant and sit alone. And it might be a bit awkward, but I'm going to think of this video from Hassan. I'm going to get over my fear. Okay? Guys, before I get on to the next point, make sure you subscribe to the channel and follow me on IG as well, boys. All right? Okay, next point. 37. Make a big list of all the mistakes you've made in the last 6 to 12 months and come up with a plan to remove these mistakes. So if you want to change your life in the next 6 to 12 months, analyze what your previous biggest mistakes were in the last 6 to 12 months and just try and avoid them. There's a law called the law of inversion, which basically means if you want to do something, just ask yourself, what's the opposite of this? Or what's going to stop me from doing this? So if you want to get strong, ask yourself, what would make sure I'm weak? If you want to become rich, ask yourself, what would keep me poor? If you want to become smart, ask yourself, what would keep me dumb or stupid? And just do the opposite of those things. So for example, if you want to be rich, ask yourself, what will keep me poor? Okay, wasting time, hanging around the wrong people, staying in my hometown, not tracking my finances, not learning sales, not learning marketing, not posting on social media, not getting a mentor. Okay, these things are going to keep you poor. So just do the opposite of them. Get a mentor, learn sales, learn marketing, track your finances. You guys get what I'm saying? Do the opposite of the mistakes you made. So write down a list of all the mistakes you made, analyze each one and think, okay, why did I make this mistake? Analyze the root problem, analyze what caused that mistake, and then deal with the mistake. Just tell yourself, these next 6 months, I'm going to try and avoid these mistakes. As long as I avoid these mistakes, it's going to be a good 6 months. Too many people focus on adding new things to their life instead of just avoiding things. And that's actually one of my next points, right? It's point 38, which is focus on removal and subtraction instead of addition. And this just means before you start trying to add things, think to yourself, which people do I need to remove? Which bad habits do I need to get rid of? What is causing me to waste my time? Before you can add things into your calendar which help you make more money, become more productive, first you need to remove things from your calendar so then you can start adding things to your calendar. You guys get me? So remove things, remove people before you can add people. The analogy I like to use is imagine you're playing football, right? This is a typical formation in football, 4-3-3, right? You got a goalkeeper, then you got 4 defenders, 3 midfielders, 3 strikers, or 3 attackers. Okay? No matter how good the players on your team are, you can only have a goalkeeper and 10 players. Okay? So before you start adding players onto the pitch, if you want to add this guy, add this guy, add this guy, you need to remove people. It's the same thing with life. Before you add new people into your life, mentors, employees, business partners, people who are ambitious, who want to level up with you, who want to make money, who want to grow, you need to start removing some people. You only have so many positions available in your life. And it's not just with people. It's like that with everything, with habits and hobbies and how you spend your time. You always have to remove before you can add. Okay? This point is extremely important and most people overlook this. They're always thinking of how can I add more? How can I do more? The smart people don't just think, how can I do more? They think, how can I do less? How can I get rid of more things in my life which aren't that important and then do more of the things that are already important? Like we said earlier, maybe outreach is really important for you. Maybe going gym is important. Maybe doing content is important. How can you double down on those things and remove everything else that doesn't matter? So let's say, for example, you want to start spending the half an hour before bed, analyzing how your day went, planning the next day. Before you start adding that task into your routine, first, you got to make the decision that you're going to keep your phone out of your bedroom. You're not going to take your phone to your room. Once you've removed your phone, then naturally, if you just sat there in your room by yourself with nothing to do, you're going to start planning your day. Do you guys get what I'm saying? So before you do this new habit that is actually going to help you and level up your life, first you need to remove the bad habit because the bad habit was blocking the space for the new habit. So before you ever try and do something positive, remove the negative. Remove the negative, then the positive has space to be there. Okay? So look at your life right now and ask yourself, why am I not going to the gym? Why am I not working hard? Why am I not talking to winners? Why am I not learning from millionaires? Okay, because I'm talking to dumb people. I'm talking to low-level people. I'm talking to people with nothing going on. I'm doing negative things. I'm smoking weed. I'm drinking alcohol. Once you remove all these things, then you have time to go to conferences. Then you have time to listen to podcasts and listen to videos like this and work hard in business and post content online and develop a high income skill. How do you have time to develop a high income skill if you're playing PlayStation, if you're watching Netflix? When you come home from work, all of your time is going towards Netflix and video games and talking shit with your friends, just gossiping, instead of actually making money, instead of actually learning a high income skill and developing yourself. Guys, we have 3 points left. Listen very carefully. These ones are major. Point 39, build your personal brand. Okay? Whatever business you want to do, you'll benefit from growing your personal brand. Once you post content online, people will get to know you. They'll start liking you more. They'll start trusting you more. If you guys have watched this whole video the whole way through, and you're watching this now, you're going to start knowing me more. You're going to start liking me more. You're going to start trusting me more because you're going to be thinking, I've watched this guy for like an hour and a half now or something. I've got a lot of value from him. He's clearly helpful. He's improving my life. If I implement these things, he's giving me a lot of value. So thank you, Hassan. As you post more content, people are going to know and trust you more. If you want to sell any product online, people have to know you and trust you. Through my personal brand, I sell my private community called New Money. That's like my form of coaching. I have a private community called New Money. We have 800 students inside of New Money. Okay, so that's the only thing I personally sell through my social media, like my own personal accounts. Okay, New Money. Link in the description if you want to find out more information about New Money. The point I'm making is as people watch you, they're going to find out more about you. They're going to start trusting you more. If you're a video editor and you post more content talking about the importance of video editing, Talk about the clients you've worked with in video editing. Talk about why you're good at video editing, why a video editor makes a big difference, how it helps you get a lot of good views, blah, blah, blah. You're going to start getting more clients interested in working with you and hiring you as an editor. Okay. Post content on social media. Nowadays in 2025, we live in an attention economy, and not just an attention economy, a trust economy. Trust is at an all-time low. There are so many bad people online selling nonsense. So if you're posting a lot of free content that's valuable, people who watch that are going to think, wow, this guy gave all this content away for free. Imagine if I pay him. Then what is the value I'm going to receive? If this was for free, what am I going to get if I pay him? And then once they start thinking like that, they're going to pay you. It's a done deal. They're sold. So try and give as much value as possible for free, and it'll help build your personal brand. You'll make more money. Next point, point 40, learn to do deep work. There's a difference between deep work and focused work versus multitasking, half switched on, half switched off, kind of trying, kind of not trying. You need to be locked in. Once you're doing something, do it. Besides like a 2-minute break in the middle of this video to make sure our SD card had enough storage, I've just sat down for the last like 2 hours or so and done this video. I've not gone to the toilet. I've not eaten anything. I've not changed clothes. I've not gone out this room and had a stretch and stretched my arms. No, I've just sat the fuck down on this chair and powered through this one task. This is how you get work done. You do deep work sessions where you're completely immersed and focused on one task. Once the one task is completed, then you can stretch, then you can move around, then you can take a break, then you can have a shower. Once you're doing something, do it. I get so locked in, guys, that I don't even realize I need a toilet break. I don't even think about toilet. I don't even think about food. I'm just so locked in. It's super important to be locked in. 1 hour of deep work where you're completely focused on one thing is worth the equivalent of 10 hours where you're half trying, half not trying. You're better off working 1 hour deeply and actually trying and actually being productive than just 10 hours staring at the ceiling, then looking at your laptop, then on your phone, then here, then there. Get locked in. Practice working on one thing at a time. Okay? So what I recommend you guys do is when you're planning your day, tell yourself, I'm working this 1 hour uninterrupted, no breaks. Maybe start off with half an hour sessions. Again, each one of you watching this video are going to be at a different level. Maybe you can work 3 hours in a row, no problem. Maybe some of you can only work 10 minutes, right? Set yourself a time limit that you can stick to. Once you can easily complete those sessions, then you can set yourself longer sessions, right? But what you want to do is work uninterrupted, no distractions, no younger sister walking in your room shouting or screaming, saying, hey, hey, hey. None of that. No having your mom walk in the room calling you that dinner is ready. No having your brother argue with you over where the PlayStation controller is. Don't have your girlfriend call you and argue with you or text you and saying, why aren't you responding? No, when you're working, you're working. Nothing can get in the way. When you're working, focus. When you're having a break, then you're allowed to talk to others and entertain other things. You need to develop the art of focusing because we live in a world in 2025 where everybody is hyper distracted. People are on their phone 24/7, but they're not getting anything meaningful done. Those people who can use microphones, cameras, social media, all these different platforms to actually get ahead instead of just getting more and more distracted, those people become super high level. Those people really stand out. Most people, they just scroll Instagram. They don't learn anything. They don't make any money. They're not even more motivated to work hard. The smart people or the high level people are using social media to make money, level up, learn new things, connect with other people, build their network, build their brand. That's how you want to be using these things. Everything is a tool. Okay, your laptop is a tool. It's either going to help you or it's going to destroy you, right? Just like a hammer. A hammer can cause a lot of negative damage, right? Or it can do a lot of good. It just depends what you use it for. It's the same thing with your phone. It's the same thing with your laptop. Next point, guys, point 41. I just wanted to say, this is not a one-time fix. This is a new way of life. If you've watched this whole video so far, right, you're listening to all the points I've made, you're sat there thinking, Hassan, I want to change my life. Good. But you're not going to do this by just one time, waking up on time, sleeping on time, eating well, going to the gym, setting yourself deadlines, having Sunday weekly reviews, right? Planning your day the night before. If you just do these things 1 or 2 times and then you go back to your old habits, nothing's going to really change for you. This is a new way of life now. And you should try and make this as fun as possible, which is why I recommend you stick to a schedule you enjoy, right? Maybe you don't want to do a review on Sunday. Maybe you want to review your life on Friday Okay, do it on Friday. Maybe you don't like eating breakfast. That's fine. Some people do fasting and they only eat for a certain, a certain time block of the day. This 4 hour block, this 8 hour block where they're eating. Find what works for you, but stick to it. Like I said, simplicity scales, complexity fails. Find what is simple, find what you can stick to, find what's going to work for you. And that's it. As long as you have clarity and you have a direction, you're going to be unstoppable. But people fail when they're trying to change themselves because they try and listen to 20 different people at once. They have 20 different people they listen to when it comes to money advice, 20 different fitness coaches, 20 different relationship coaches. It's like, bro, if you want to change your life, listen to one person in one area. Just listen to what they say. If someone's ahead of you and they're giving you this advice, just apply it and stick to that one thing. It will change your life. If you guys listen to these 40 points, 41 points, you will change your life forever if you can stick to these points. Do it step by step, okay? If there's a big decision that you are putting off, make that decision today, right? Try and move out of your hometown today. Make a decision of where you're going to move out. Again, like I said before, all these points complement each other. They compound together. You might be thinking, moving out of your hometown, how am I going to know which city to move to? But like I said on one of the other points, try and make every decision quickly. If you make every decision quickly, it's going to create momentum that's going to reveal the next path. I remember deciding between moving to Dubai or moving to Miami. And the reason why I decided to move to Dubai in the end, not Miami, was because basically with Miami, I had to sort out a green card and it was going to be more complicated with the residency process. Whereas with Dubai, it was very easy to move as a, British passport holder, right? So because I have an English passport, it was very easy for me to move to Dubai. Very simple paperwork, very simple everything. Whereas Miami would have been difficult. That's how I made the decision. Boom, move to Dubai. Whatever you want to do it quickly. But guys, I think that covers everything. I don't have much more to say. If you guys like this video, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you guys follow me on IG. We'll put the IG right here as well. We'll put it in the description. And make sure you join my free Telegram channel. I do daily voice notes, dropping hella game, more kind of content like this. Guys, if you want to get coached by me and change your life, this is level 1 of the game. If you want a mentor who can show you what to do to help you change your life, watch the videos below. It's going to explain to you more about the coaching, more about what I can help you with. And then send me a message on Instagram called YouTube Coaching if you want me to coach you. And see you boys in a bit.